All right, alpha patch 12 is live. The big things we added are the doctor, a biomass and fuel tank similar to the water tank, and we also added plant fiber, which is an item that's created by crops, and it's only used to grow biomass. So I'll show you the doctor. So right now, an issue with the doctor is it is difficult to make colonists sync up together and do things. So if like Daniel gets damaged, and then you have, I don't know, Dave, and he's the doctor, and if Daniel requires the doctor to heal him and he has to go to the doctor, it is very difficult to ensure, I don't even remember their names anymore, but it's very difficult to ensure that they meet each other. Because first you have to determine a spot where they meet each other, which, could maybe be the medical bed or something like that. But then also you have to ensure that the doctor actually shows up. And then you also have to decide how long should the patient wait before the doctor, before he'll just give up or something like that. Because the doctor has other stuff he's doing. The doctor could be in the bathroom. He could be sleeping. He could have low morale and just not care. You might not even have a doctor, So there's a bunch of stuff. Or maybe the doctor can't even reach the patient for some reason. Like maybe you walled off the doctor because you're a jerk, or because the doctor's a jerk. I don't know. And so for now, the way things heal is that doctors create items and then colonists can use the items. And then also patients can use the medical bed to heal, but the medical bed requires a fuel called medicine that only the doctor can create. So this way you need a doctor, but they don't have to sync up together ever. And maybe in the future they will, but for now they don't. It's a bit simpler. And the end state is about the same. There's a lot of things like that I mean, like what I would love, of course, if the doctor would go to someone's room and heal them, and that'd be really cool. But the amount of effort required to do that, to me, isn't really worth it right now. It'd be kind of irresponsible because this is about the same. Right now what you have is a guy goes to a medical bed, lays down because the doctor had provided medicine, and it's pretty good. It's about the same, in terms of interest or something like that. Okay, anyway, here's a doctor. Here's a dude, Stina Cooper, or a lady, I guess. She's a lady, right? Come here, Stina. I think Stina's a girl name, and she looks like a girl. She's got long hair, so I guess that makes her a girl. And let me make sure she is a doctor, level 6. Oh, by the way, the item requirements are there's level requirements for the doctor, I think. I think at level 2, they can craft a medicine, and at level 4, they can craft medkits. And then they also get they get some amount of experience per day just from using their medical desk. And if you had multiple doctors, you would need multiple medical desks to do that daily thing. And then they also get experience from crafting. And the medical desk requires biomass, which I gave it. And if you use biomass, you can make medkits or medicine. And like I said, medicine is a lower level, medkits are the higher level, and I guess I'll explain the difference. So medicine is used as fuel for this thing, for the medical bed, and it has none right now. And medkits, on the other hand, can be used to instantly cure 2 health, which is pretty nice. Like instantly, and that's why they're higher level, because they're just so much better. And then the medical bed takes, I don't know, a long time to heal. Maybe something like, I'd have to look at the actual values, but it's actually, I could write now. What's that? Is that the model? No, it's the model. I'll look anyway. You guys can see. Maybe this is interesting to somebody. Desk medical. If not, I don't know, fast forward or something to like 30 seconds in the future. If I were to go to this actual medical desk here. Oh, I need a medical bed, right? Medical bed entity. By the way, we have these things. There's a blueprint, an entity, a menu entry, and a model. And the difference is that the menu entry is the thing you see in the menu. This guy here. The blueprint is the thing that actually handles like placement. So once you click this, left click this menu entry, this guy, this little drop off is actually the blueprint. And then the entity is the physical thing that exists in the world. And the model is just the term we use for like the 3D model, but whatever. Okay, so anyway, medical desk, actual bed here, and there's something about healing somewhere. Healing. A crazy name. It's like usable object, user, healer, component, right here, boom. And it takes, looks like it heals 1 health every 60 seconds, and it has to be powered and online as well for that to work. So if someone had 9 damage, a colonist has 10 health, so they couldn't have 10 damage because they'd be dead. But if they had 9 damage, it would take 9 hours apparently to heal them, which is That seems reasonable. Maybe it could take longer. I don't know. But anyway, you want to see a doctor. So let's see. This dude, doctor. By the way, the chef is white. See? Which is why the doctor, as you'll see in a second, is blue. See, the doctor's blue because we already have a white chef. So, and I guess you could pretend they're scrubs or something. I don't know. So this guy's gonna go here. There's no animations yet. He's gonna just sit here and look like, you know, he's very intently. She, by the way, like she is very intently doing stuff at this medical desk. And in a little bit, oh, by the way, see that right there? So what I added was I added a thought bubble that's periodically displayed every, I think it was something like 30 seconds to every like 10 minutes, is randomly a random value. And what it does is it displays the current morale value of the colonist. And there's a sad, I think there's angry, sad, neutral, and happy. And the intent there is that you don't have to click on a colonist to see if they're sort of happy or sad. And that was it. So apparently he's happy. Anyway, but so one of the biomasses went away and he made a med kit. And you would not have remembered what this was before, but unless, I guess you go, oh no. I was trying to show you that this guy would gain experience. If I just keep the mouse there, right about here, he'll gain experience. See? So he gains experience. Once he gains enough, he levels up and does other stuff. I think right now, he might craft faster, or she might craft faster as her level goes up. I don't remember. That seems like something that I would do, though. She's making med kits. She makes med kits first, probably for some arbitrary reason, and then she decided she had to use the bathroom. And then she's just not going to make medicine or something? Is that what's happening here? Or is there just something else? Or is she just mad or something? I don't know, Stina Cooper. I kind of waited a long time to make her actually work, so maybe she's not working anymore? Alright, Stina, I don't need you. I can make somebody... What was that? You see that? It's like the material's messed up for a second. Why did that happen? That's weird. The default material's messed up. I'm looking for someone who's a doctor. Oh my god. Nobody's going to be a doctor? A level 2 doctor? Why? Well, stress testing colonists. Doctor, there we go. He's a doctor. This guy. Yeah, right there. Go doctor. Alright, listen. Okay. This is an indie game made by 2 people. Okay. So sometimes medicine doesn't get crafted, and I don't know why. The thing is, right before this, I tested this, but maybe I messed up when I added the biomass or something. Or maybe they want more biomass? Or maybe I added too much biomass? I don't know. Let's see. Is that what it was? Did I not add enough biomass? Did I add too much biomass? I don't know. I don't know. So the thing is, when I add these things in this like dev way, it doesn't always play nice internally with what it's supposed to do. So let's see. That's not good. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, now it's making medicine. And then if I make somebody a laborer, I could even make the same chef, the same doctor a laborer. If I make him a laborer, he should take some medicine from here to here. See? He's got some medicine right there. And he transports it. What does the crate look like? Because again, the art isn't really finished yet for this. It looks okay, but it looks like the position needs to come out a little bit. What a beautiful guy. And then that thing went away. Let's see if I hurt somebody like this dude. Let me hurt you. Did I get him? The actual colonist position is weird, and so it's hard to click it. So I'm looking for over here on the right side of the screen is once it says colonist entity, and then I'm going to snag him. Or her, I guess, in this case. Or you. I got him. All right. I'm going to hurt him. Hit point component. Hurt. Don't kill. Hurt him a few times. That Violet James. That can't be Violet James, right? No, I hit him 3 times. If I could find this dude. There he is. Joseph Williams. And then he got in the medical desk, by the way, because he was hurt. It just looked funny because he delivered the medicine, and then he also got hurt. Anyway, he's in the medical bed now. And he's not sleeping, even though his eyes are closed. Oops. Whoa, what did I just do? I pressed a weird button, like super sped time. I don't know what key that was. Interesting. Anyway, eventually he'll get healed up. But anyway, he's not unconscious. That's why he can still talk. It's not a bug. because the idea is that they're in the bed and they might talk to the doctor or something like that. It's just that there's no animation for the colonist to be laying in bed with his eyes open, or there's no sprites for him, so he's just kind of, I don't know, he's meditating, he's getting healed. Oh, by the way, if you turn off this machine or if it loses power when somebody's inside, it's not good for the dude in here. And he'll start to take damage. It's random, though, the amount of damage he takes, see? The damage he takes. Also, someone's fighting. Why are people fighting? That's so sad. People are jerks. Maybe he'll start to take random damage in here because it's turned off. And again, the duration is randomized, so it's something like, I don't know, probably like somewhere between 10 seconds and an hour every damage. You know, and the amount's probably randomized too or something like that. And then if you restore power, he'll be good to go. And the idea is that when it's not powered, I don't know, like something weird is happening. Who was fighting, though? Let's find out. Was it you? She hates a lot of people. What about him? She doesn't seem to hate that much. It's probably this dude was punching people. And he's hateful. And he's in inside. Was she attacked? You probably see who was punched, right? I bet it was this person. And I bet eventually he'll punch him again. What a punk. Okay, so that's a doctor. Does doctor thing. That totally sidetracked here. But anyway, that's a doctor. Cool, cool. All right, what next? I'm just going to restart. Oh, yeah, the biomass and the fuel grid. So that's pretty cool. So what we did with that, so right now we're at a point where we're sort of trying to polish up things and improve quality of life and just balance out all the things we've been adding in this milestone, which is Colonist Plus. And something we didn't like is the amount of time laborers spend just delivering things. It just doesn't feel very fun. So what we did is we added fuel tanks and biomass tanks that are similar to the water tanks. So I have one here. I have a fuel tank here. And what it is, see, it looks just like the water tank, except for it stores fuel. Like a cool little dude. And if I were to connect it with this generator here, actually I think it's already connected. Let me see. Nope, it's not. So if I turn this generator online, it'll complain about not having fuel. And then look at that fuel level there. How it's kind of at the very bottom. I only put one in there on purpose. And if I connect this, it'll be good. It'll take the fuel out, and it will turn online eventually. And it decided that it didn't want to turn online? Or something? Did that just happen? Why does it say 0 there? I don't know. This is my life, guys. Oh no. But that's going to be all sorts of messed up. Why'd you do that, generator? Oh, you know what? Right before this video, I changed a component. Oh, it doesn't matter. Anyway, there's a component that's in charge of like this grid sort of stuff. And then when an object says he wants something, he can take it from himself, or he can take it from connected containers. That's what's happening internally, is that something with all things. But there was an issue if it was a grid stealer. That's what I call them, because they steal from the grid. If they're a grid stealer and the grid is completely full and then you deposit something, what was happening is that the excess item was being deposited into just one of these stealers, like for instance into the generator. For things like the fuel tank, it's fine because you want your excess fuel to be stored there, but for a generator you don't, because, well, for the generator it would be kind of cool, I guess, but for things like the probe dock it would be awful, because then you would store fuel here and then it would have too much fuel and then it would never take off because it thought it was full of other stuff. But if I just manually give this thing fuel real quick, it'll turn on. Go fuel. Add fuel. Fuel. Go. What is it doing? Just being so silly. Who knows? It's nebulous. I swear to God. You're breaking my heart, man. Okay. No more Mr. Nice Guy. Could be something messed up when I placed it originally. Maybe I saved it and then did something weird. I don't know. Let's find out. So let's add fuel to this guy. And I'll zoom in a little bit so you can kind of see it a little bit better. I'll add fuel here. I'll add 2 fuel, and I'll connect them, and I'll see if he decides that he wants to work correctly this time. Maybe the animator's messed up, huh? That could just be it, actually. You know, I had done something with the animators. And I bet, maybe that's just, maybe, you know what, maybe that's all that actually happened, is the animators are messed up, and I was just like, oh no, it's something else, and maybe it's not. Control Shift H, Control Shift F. Int here. Huh. Not there, not there, not there. Uh-oh. Oh, whatever. I'd commented something else, so something with floors, palette floors. So I bet that it's producing, it's just the animation isn't playing right now. The animation tail offset guy isn't playing right now. So, oh well. Turn him online, offline. He took the ore in. That is exactly what's happening. And so everything just looks really weird. But just pretend that the ore refiner was playing animations normally, and then everything would look okay. Now, eventually, this guy's going to finish, and then he's going to put fuel into this thing, unless he doesn't have enough. No, he does. So eventually, some metal's going to appear right here. Or it might not appear ever, actually, because the thing's not playing. Right? So the metal got outputted. And then here's this guy right here doing his little cool guy thing. So there's that. And then if you were to connect this with the probe dock, the mining probe, he would fly away into the stars. So the biggest reason we did this was quality of life. So now your movers don't have to spend so much time transporting things back and forth. But the second reason we did it is that it's now much more easy to kill, or let's say to have everybody in your colony die, and then you can restart and do that. Because previously with like a biotank, if it was stocked, you would have at most 2 colonists you could make. Whereas now you could place an endless amount of biomass tanks, and each one I think stores 5 or 10. So each biomass tank can store 2 colonists. Can create 2 colonists. This also makes it easier for the nutrition brick creator as well. This little guy. Because now he can just make nutrition bricks without somebody having to deliver biomass automatically or manually. If I would add enough biomass. To be honest, I don't know if this object works. It might, though. I don't know if I would have forgotten to do it for the nutrition brick creator. The food brick factory. But that's why we do this, guys. That's why we test. It's a bit of a bummer. All right, I'm still bummed out about this animation thing. I could just fix it real quick. Let's fix it real quick, guys. It'll be fun. It'll be so much fun. So what we're going to do is first, I'll see if I commented some stuff out. See, I do something with the floors, and floors are composed of 2 parts. See, floors are composed of a generic entity that has nothing to do with rendering whatsoever, and then it's composed of something that is in charge of rendering. So every single floor is 2 parts. It's this guy, a floor generic entity, and there's a bunch of variants. So for instance, the floor data variant, right? And the floor data variant, actually let's do the sterile variant. I'll do this guy. He might actually have palace on him. Yeah. So this guy, the child, controls a bunch of stuff about, rendering and palettes and whatever. And this is because the visuals of a floor can change all the time. Like, let's say a colonist is walking on a floor, and then you swap that floor out, a carpet floor for a sterile floor, right? So internally, there's still some floor that's the same because you already generated a route to it and all that sort of stuff. But visually, it has to change, and so so what we did is we separated the 2 things into basically into the rendering half and into the the internal non-rendering part. But there are some issues with other things, like, I don't know, building, for instance, spawns a thing, and then by default, the thing that spawns on is the generic entity. So I was moving some stuff around and it messed up palette things, and so then I was, I don't know, commenting some stuff out and uncommenting some stuff. So let's see. If I were to go, what do you think? If I take this over here and move this guy over here too, so you can see what I'm doing. What's it called? Like the floor mesh renderer component. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna look for a warning over here, because maybe if I'm lucky, I just commented something out. Uh-oh, I'm not lucky, guys. That's never good, is it? So that's okay. So what I can do is go all the way up here. There's also a thing called the material modifier component. And there's also this. What if I do is palette is, Ah, huh, that's it. It's right here, guys. See? If on change that material modifier is palette material property modifier equals false. So what I was doing here is I was making sure that because the palettes wouldn't work on floors earlier today or yesterday or something like that. And so I was commenting some stuff out. And usually what I do, by the way, is I'll write like integer here, right? Because then I get an unused warning variable, warning, like right there. And then it reminds me to do that stuff. But in this case, I did not do that. Oh gosh, how embarrassing. Okay, so I delete that. It's fixed. How cool. And here's some random code. Here's the material modifier component. You know what this does? If you want to modify the materials on an agent, you put this guy on it. And then it stores things like the materials and stuff that were rendered. And we have like a key system for doing things. And here's some stuff that's commented out that I'm like, oh, I'm so scared. I don't want to remove it. So why is this here though? Get out of here. No, I was mad about that because this is a look, that's annoying. What? Look at this is allocating like 4 bytes every time this is called. I bet this is called a lot too. Oh, only when the render is linked. Okay, so not that often actually, but still, get out of here, guy. You know what? Just get all this out of here. Get this all out of here. Yeah, get this all out of here. All right, now it's cleaned up a little bit. Okay. Okay. All right, so that's fixed. And then what's next? Plant fiber. Yeah. Also the biomass tank. I'll show you this too, the biomass tank, because now this guy works correctly. Man, I was so frazzled, and I rarely use the term frazzled when that messed up. How long have I been talking anyway? My gosh, 21 minutes. Okay. All right. Well, hopefully you're still here. So next I'll show you the plant fiber. Nope, I said I would show something else. Here's Space Station 12, which is the patch station. By the way, I always have to make these stations, and then I try to like come up with some different layouts, but there's only so many ways you can place a Starmancer core and then other stuff around it. All right, let me turn this guy on. Oh, thank God, look, it works. Cool. And you can actually see this guy. Well, you would have seen him taking fuel. And then eventually this dude's going to produce enough. Is there a leak? Or is there some... Oh, you know what I did? Here is this. I disabled the lighting and stuff like that. Yeah. And the atmosphere, so that's why I was being weird. But anyway, so see all this biomass in here? So now, see this bio thing? It's got nothing. It also has no warning, which is nice. And hopefully, here's the hoping, that if I delete just this pipe, if it works correctly, you'll see a notification. And I really don't know if this will work. Oh my gosh. I was scared for a second. I was like, it didn't work, but then it did work. Okay, cool. So there's that, and if I add it back, it should go away. Okay. And then also right now, the visuals of the pipes, they only have a slot for dirty water and clean water. I'm talking about, just this here. See how it's blue? It's blue because there's water hooked up to it. Like if I were to delete this, see how they stop turning blue? But anyway, if I were to grow a colonist, one of these tanks should get drained. This guy. Did that thing move, by the way? Did it just go up? I don't know. So it gets drained. This colonist gets made. Oh, I guess while I'm here too, you can see Victor added a lights that flash up here. They don't flash, but they just turn on right here when it's ready to be harvested. So you can kind of see if the colonist is ready. But the super nice thing about this is now the only thing your colonists have to do is pretty much just deliver ore. And they don't have to deliver all this pesky biomass. This guy's crippled, doesn't he? Yo, crippled dudes are the worst. In the game, not in real life. Maybe in real life too, but definitely in the game. He's mean. He's crippled. He's a doctor. Okay. So there's that. Oh, by the way, the reason we use just one pipe, I don't know. I kind of thought it'd be weird and just, I don't know, unnecessary if we had, a fuel pipe and a biomass pipe and a water pipe. It's just one pipe. Just here's a pipe. Just place a pipe. You don't flow liquids. Liquids flow. We're not trying to make the game awful or feel awful. Oh, there's something else too. The way my Roomba just turned on. What the heck? I think my baby, my child, my 10-month-old turned on the Roomba or something. He likes to crawl in it, and then it takes him for a little ride a little bit, as much as it can, because he's he's a baby. Anyway, that's a tangent, just because of stupid Roomba. But if you're producing stuff and there's no capacity left in this tank, so if this fuel tank goes completely full, then the ore refinery would produce fuel right here. instead of delivering it to the tank. And the reason we did that is, I don't know, a few reasons. So one, maybe for whatever reason you want to stockpile fuel, so you can have excess. Because for one, in the future you'll be able to trade, and also in the future it's possible this fuel tank could catch on fire or something cool like that, and so maybe you want to have some reserves just in case. Another reason is for things like a very good example I think is the biomass the food brick creator here. So food brick creator. So what you could do is probably you only want to use your excess biomass to make nutrition bricks, maybe. So what you could do is you could set up a food recycler hooked up to all the grids and stuff like that. And then once all the tanks are full, then then biomass would be created, like a crate would be created, a physical thing. And you could just use that and don't hook this guy up to the grid. And you could just load him with the output, right? So that way you're only using your excess and you're doing something through excess. So something like that would be nice. But if you find that for whatever reason you have a bunch of empty tanks, actually let's do water tanks. Let's do, oh, by the way, there's icons. There will be icons for this, but not in the patch. So right now, see how it just is a thing of fuel, and this is just, I don't even know what. But let's say you have a biomass. The way you can cook it up right now, the way you can deposit objects, is with the sink. Because it's a little silly, but here's the thing. You just pour biomass or fuel or water into the sink. That's it. You pour it down the drain, and it kind of figures out where it's got to go. And there you go. And the reason that it's at the sink is because I wanted to have, an object that you could go to, and you could place in a nice location. So for instance, if it was biomass, you could place it next to your food recycler or wherever you might have biomass. And also because internally, if you could drop off, let's say if the colonists could drop off at the nearest water tank, in terms of performance, that could be bad because there could be a lot of water tanks, and the colonist has to figure out the closest water tank. And the only way you can figure out the closest water tank is if you get the distance to every water tank. And we do some other things too, like I get the straight line distance. And I take the closest one from that. But just it could be awful. So you just go here. Now let's see. So if I were to put, what's that, biomass? If I put biomass on a shelf, again, this should work. If it doesn't work, it's because, let's just blame Victor. But it'd probably be because of how I'm adding it. And like it might not always queue it correctly when I add it this way. Let me make sure this is connected. It looks like it is. And let me just delete this too, just so he doesn't like try to do anything else. Just be a laborer, bro. Yeah, be a laborer. What's your labor level anyway? 4. If you didn't read the last, I think it was last update? 2 update? I don't remember. But now colonists increase their movement speed the higher their labor skill is. So see, she's going to take this, and she's going to drop it off in the sink. And then it should put it right there. See, puts it there, so that's cool. By the way, the wall sink has no inventory slots. What I did, it's interesting. So the wall sink considers its inventory capacity to be whatever all the tanks are. So if you had like 8 tanks, it would think it had 8 times 10 capacity, and then it would request more. But if it's not connected to anything, it won't request anything. And so the idea is that if it's all at capacity, it doesn't request more and stuff like that. Blah, 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 blah. And then also right now, there's no way to take this tasty biomass here and then create a crate from it. Right now, there's no way to do that. Because we need some sort of UI thing, like you click a sink and you'd say like request 5, and then it would give you 5. But I didn't bother to implement that because why would you do that? It doesn't make sense. There's no reason right now that you would need to ever get a physical crate of biomass, because you could just use this pipe, or you can just use these tanks and you can hook it up and everyone's happy. And again, the whole intent of this is to one, reduce the amount of stuff your laborers have to do, because right now, or previously, the amount of laborers you needed per machine was insane. And so now this is really streamlined. And then also now, if everybody dies in your colony, you can stockpile as much biomass as is technically possible for performance, and you can regrow as many colonists as you need to. And that's the exact same reason that fuel has a tank as well, because your generator is running off fuel, and then in the future other stuff might run off fuel as well. So, all right. So the last thing was plant fiber. See, I just get this. By the way, is why I don't talk on Discord, because I like to talk about. I like to be like, look at this and this and that and this, and I get so distracted so quick. All right, so here's a farm though, and it's growing. By the way we balanced it is that plant fiber. Let me place a shelf real quick, and then you can see what I'm talking about with plant fiber. Here, plant fiber. See, plant fiber is not edible. Actually, it is edible, but it's disgusting, and it's the lowest thing that a colonist will choose to eat. But anyway, but it's not used in any food dishes. It's only used to make biomass. And so in this way, you don't have to use up all your food to make extra biomass. And also it adds some nice flavor or some nice balancing to the crops. So I think what we did is tomatoes grow no biomass, or they grow no plant fiber, right? So you get the least amount of plant fiber from these, from tomatoes. And then, things like potatoes, wheat, and carrots do grow plant fiber. And so what we do maybe is that tomatoes will grow. You can get a little bit more food if you use tomatoes, but you can get a little bit more biomass if you use wheat. So you're trying to balance that out like that. Let me place a farmer. What level are you, Susan Anthony? She's level 4 farmer. Oh, that's too bad. So she's level 5, because she's level 5. She would actually be able to farm faster. Or, grow multiple things. All right, go, go, go. She's going to do her thing. It's going to grow, 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 grow. Eventually. Meanwhile, you can talk about stuff. Doesn't matter. I was going to say I added fertilizer, but that was like 3 weeks ago. I could talk about it anyway. So fertilizer is kind of cool. And the way it works internally is interesting. Is item fertilizer agent. And it's a usable item. And what's interesting, sort of, is the way these items are used. Like the way, for instance, the medkit is used. The medkit is used no differently than anything else. So the medkit just has a usable object user healer component on it. And this is the exact same component that the medical bed has on it. Which is, I don't know, I think that's cool. If you are like, whatever, who cares? I think it's kind of cool. And the components even control how long it takes. So, I don't know, just the same components to use for everything. So it takes 5 game minutes, apparently, to heal yourself, which is 5 seconds, by the way, to heal yourself with a medkit. And it has a healing cooldown, which is arbitrarily 4.75 seconds. It's not arbitrary, it's shorter than the use duration, so they actually heal slightly sooner, and it restores 2 instantly. That's it. Which is kind of cool. But to go back to the fertilizer, item fertilizer agent variant, I go to skills. All it does is it just increases the level of the farmer by 2 when it is stored. So when it's stored in a container, all it does is it calls on skill level ad hoc increased by a skill type level adjustment, whatever, and it has a unique key as well, so that you can remove them. It has a unique key so that later you can remove them by that key. So you say, hey, remove it that was at that key. See that key. So that's all that does, and just adjust the level. So if a farmer has fertilizer, their level will be increased. And I could just make one real quick. So he's going to have, I think he's harvesting. Yeah, okay. So right now he just has wheat. But when he drops it off, it's going to be plant fiber and wheat, plant fiber, see? And if I make him a laborer, or she a laborer, I call all colonists he apparently. Maybe that makes it easier for me to somehow, inadvertently cause their deaths if I call them a he. And he'll drop off some stuff, and then hopefully he goes and drops off the plant fiber. I don't know what this crate looks like when he picks it up either. Oh, just like a little piece of kelp or something. Kind of looks like leather. Different games. So the little plant fiber down there. See? And then I'll show you the workbench though. So workbench, which I think has animations now actually. Yeah, let me show that. That could be cool. It doesn't have biomass. I should add like a doesn't have object thing like out of. I could add a missing like doesn't have biomass indicator to it. I can show you how that's done too. It's kind of cool. It's not that cool, but it's cool to me. Okay, so if I add biomass here, and then he'll go and make. Just kidding, guys. It'll completely break. That's what'll happen. Probably because the animations were messed up, huh? That's okay. We'll get to the bottom of it. like this, see? So what happened here is a usable item creator user deposit component here, list of objects this, and over here, what happened here? What are you talking about? Oh my goodness, guys, how did this happen? See this? See what happened here? That's a little bit embarrassing. So what happened is, see, there's 2, and I started at index 1. But the reason I started index 1 is because previously there would have been like there was something else here, right? It would look like this and so look like this. See, and then I changed this to 2, and then I did, and then I forgot. So yikes. Oops. Now it's fixed though. And while we're here, we can add a thing to the workbench. Eventually. Workbench. Oh crap, is the workbench, is it connected to the water grid? I bet it's not. So we can do that real quick though, right? Workbench entity. And what I'm looking for is biomass, stealer, reusable. I don't see that, right? This thing also needs water reusable. And it also is going to need a water object right here. Water object here. This looks like this. Steal from grid before self, yes. See, so all it says is an item grid withdrawal stealer component, and what it does is just steals stuff in on withdraw. UI accepts biomass. I could put requires biomass maybe instead. And this water grid reusable does what? Blah 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 blah. Fuel grid biomass grid room object component. Is it powered though? Because if it is powered, and it should be powered, it should have a component power. Does it not require power? Oh, it's right there. I'm so blind. Here. So I'm gonna have to add. I could disable it here. So what I gotta add? Power grid tile set. Nah, do it here. So need to add the clean water grid, the dirty water grid, the biomass grid, and the fuel grid. See, this is the fun part. The fun, wonderful life of game development. Where you do just this sort of crap all day, every day. All right, so fuel grid. And let's see what we got here. Item grid stealer. Yep. And I can disable this guy here. He's not a donator. This is like this reusable thing that a bunch of things can do, and then it just has all the pieces on it, and then we can change. And then this allows us to change it in one place. So if we decided that, oh no, the water grid component needs, let's add something here, we could do that, and everything gets updated automatically. And I clicked out of it, so I'm looking for the workbench again. Workbench entity, stealer. Why is this default to fuel? Who knows? And listener, probably because I'm doing on something else. Wait a second. I just disabled everything. Why did I add this? This is a comment on something that says add it, but I disabled everything else. So I guess I'll just remove that. If I go to the inventory, I think a lot of stuff is a notification actually. So you could add not enough items, notification component. Let's just say, I don't know, no biomass. And it requires biomass here, a bunch of attributes, biomass. You can also search for biomass, see? Search for biomass. There's biomass shows up. And biomass will apparently requires, let's say if it doesn't have one, but now we need a no item notification. No item, lacking item agent here, and this guy's just another agent like everything else, and it controls a bunch of stuff and does things too. And now, workbench. There's actually 2 no item notification. There's out of item and not enough item. I never remember the difference. And don't ask me why they're named that way. I didn't name them. Out of item notification component. I'm over here looking at this stuff. You guys don't care about this. Well, maybe you do. So close this. That one's probably fine, but one of them checks the grid and one of them doesn't. And I'm guessing it's this guy. So I'm looking for out of item from looking at this. So I need the workbench entity, workbench entity here. I don't know why, but I'll show you anyway. Here, 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 here. See, this is the not enough item notification component, which is different from the out of item notification component, but they're almost the exact same, and I'm pretty sure they're a copy paste of each other for some reason. But it'll get fixed eventually because I just hate the copy paste. But the main difference between the two of them is one, if you withdraw 0 and the amount left in the container is less than amount required, then it considers it a -1, or it considers it like empty. And the reason it does that is because for electricity purposes, there are objects that request 0 electricity, but you still want them to like turn on lights and stuff when there's power. So there's a few objects like that. Like I think the propaganda billboard, for instance, does that, and just a few other objects that don't require power but still have lights. If there's no power, their lights will turn off, which is separate from being out of items, where it's just like if the amount left is less than or equals 0, that means you're out of it. You know, you have nothing left. See, this was different, see, because it checks if do you have more, you have to withdraw, that sort of thing. It's also because the way the electricity works. I'm just going to change this right now. You know that? So this one was, because I just hate this so much. On withdrawal, you know, so I'm going to call this not enough power. I don't even care. I'll call it not enough electricity. Actually, I'm going to call whatever. Not enough electricity. And don't rename that. I got to rename this as well. Not enough electricity. Not enough electricity. Electricity. And I'll think of a better name later, but this is, in the short term, this is better than it was. And then, because electricity is just such a weird thing. It's just such a, like outlier in how things work. But internally, it's still an item and stuff like that. So inventory, or did I say notification? I think it's notification. So not enough electricity. Now we're going to make this instead out of item, and the item is going to be no biomass, and we're going to say item notification, lacking item, boom, and what we're looking for is biomass. Here's all the items. It's a bunch of attributes and things. See, bunch of things. Biomass, biomass, there. Okay, so hopefully this thing will be, you can hook it up to the grid and it'll have a notification. We'll see. And this looks good. So I get a bunch of warnings when you add new components, and just tells you that it had to regenerate the GUIDs on it. And it does that because if the GUIDs get messed up, previous saves won't work. And by the way, I clicked on rebuild agent library, and what that does is it rebuilds the agents.xml file, which actually controls everything. Which you yourself could edit to do whatever you wanted to do. So let's see though. Farm. Again, this is why I don't talk in Discord, because I just do stuff like this. I'm just like, oh, I don't know. I just like to show these things. I'm like, hey, look, isn't this cool? Hey, what about this? Isn't this neat? Alright, so let's see. Hey, look at that. See, he's complaining. Isn't that cool? Now let's do two things. So first, I'm going to see if he'll take biomass. Like this. Come on, guy, take biomass. That'd be super nice, right? Disconnect physically? Yeah, I did. See how connected that guy too? So that's a good sign. And add biomass. Oh, that's so sad. It didn't work. I wonder why it didn't work. What a sad day. Or maybe it did work. No, it just didn't work. That's too bad. I'll fix this later after the video, so you guys don't need to sit through my trial and error. But see, that part of it worked. Maybe it's because he's an item grid, something else. Doesn't matter. Okay, but I'll have this guy make this stuff real quick because it's kind of cool. So let's find this farmer dude. So he has no farmer skill. But what he's going to try to do, and hopefully I'm pretty sure I saved. So he's going to do some things eventually. So Savannah Moss, is going to go here. And Victor made his cool little thing it's doing. and she's gonna make some fertilizer. And she did, and then she has fertilizer, which currently has this egg thing, but she also gained 2 farmer levels. And by the way this works is that the amount of experience that they need to level is their actual level. So her actual level is 0, so she needs however much experience that is to level up, as opposed to the amount of experience you need to level up a level 2. And I think, but I'm not certain, that this can increase the max level beyond 10, but I don't know that for sure. Who knows? Toilet stall description. Useful for sleeping, eating, and defecating. The most efficient object known to man. Like, that's funny. It's funny to me. I'm pretty sure I wrote that, but I forgot I wrote it. That's funny. Okay. This is... Please have confidence in me. Okay. I'm seeing if I refresh the grid afterwards. Oh, man, that's too bad. But that's a plant fiber, and the plant fiber can be recycled and stuff like that. Let me see if there's anything else that we added. Oh, yeah, we added fight memories. So now when colonists fight, they get memories. And the cool thing about memories is they have this concept of the about colonist and then also the performer colonist. So the about colonist is who is the memory about. So in the case of someone getting, let's say someone is cold. So let's say, what's her name, Savannah or something like that? Yeah, Savannah. So if Savannah is cold, the memory is about Savannah, right? Because Savannah's cold. And the about agent is used to influence the morale modifiers of secondhand colonists. So if other people like Savannah, then they'll get sad if Savannah is cold. But if they hate her, they'll get happy because Savannah was cold. So that's the about. And then there's also the performer agent. Usually, the performer agent doesn't make any sense except for fighting. So in the case of fighting, if Savannah were to hit Bill, Savannah would be the performer agent, and Bill would be the about agent, because the memory is really that Bill got hit. Bill was hit. So it's about Bill being hit. And the person who performed it was Savannah. And the way this works in this case is that if people liked Bill, they would be mad that Savannah hit him, and so then their relationship towards Savannah would go down. So that's how that works. Oh yeah, I also adjusted this. Let me look for something if I could find. Okay, this is a good example. So the water recycler, I adjusted the infrastructure input stuff that used to be right here, and it still is right there. But what I did is I used the agent system for this, so you can mouse over it. So the benefit here is we can provide extra data, and we might change the layout so you don't have to mouse over. Like maybe over here we'll have like a thing that says like, this icon, and then hyphen requires power to the right of it or something like that. So see, like on this, you can't mouse over this up here. It's because it's literally just an image, but over here you have this other stuff. So, well, here's a good one too. Accepts biomass, provides biomass, that sort of thing. Oh yeah, colonists can see blood now. Like if there's blood, they'll form memories about blood. So, blood memory. Memory saw blood. So see, they saw blood and a bunch of stuff about. Actually, let me find the blood entity. So blood entity, blood what? Is it this guy? Apparently it's this guy. No, it's not this guy. Some guy somewhere is in charge of blood. And he would have like a seeable memory on him, a viewable memory. Is it this guy? Yeah, it's this guy here. Didn't I type in floor agent or blood agent? Or maybe I didn't. I don't know what I typed in. Apparently it wasn't the right thing though. Memory. So this is the visible memory object component, and then if a colonist sees it, then they see blood. Oh yeah, we also added a cooldown component to visible stuff too. So like visible cooldown here. So if we want to, we could add a cooldown on how frequently a colonist can see it. So the benefit of this is, let's say a poster that you only want a colonist to see maybe every 24 hours, they should get a morale boost if they see this poster, but no more often because it would be broken or something like that. So you do that, you could do whatever 24 times 60 is, which is, I don't know, 1440 apparently. By the way, if you use Unity, you didn't know that you can do math in this thing. See, so I do that sometimes. But I'm gonna remove that because we don't need it. Oh, and also some perks now, like Maniac, for instance, no longer gets a negative morale modifier if they see blood or if they get hit because they're a freaking maniac. If I could find this. Here. The Maniac? Should be Maniac, right? Unless I'm the crazy one. Well, that's disgusting. Am I a crazy person? Did I forget to do it for the Maniac? Or is it a different perk? I don't know, but like here, I swear I did him. I did the Maniac first. Huh. Maybe my commit messed up or something. But here's this like, so for instance, this morale modifier override component. So now if like so a disgusting guy is a person who, when he pees, he only pees on the floor. And when he eats food, he prefers toilet. And when he sleeps, he also prefers the toilet. And what I did is I adjusted the morale modifier so that if he like sleeps on the floor, it's 0. If he pees on the floor, it's 0 and stuff like that. Didn't I do that for the Maniac? Maybe I did the wrong guy though. Maybe I did the wrong perk. It's possible. I just did the wrong perk. Who knows? Maybe there's a conflict with Victor was working on it or something. Who knows? Anything else that's interesting that we did? Blah 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 blah. Let's see. Nah, that's about it. Oh yeah, memories and visible objects can have perks now. So if a colonist were to see someone doing drugs, they could get the drug user perk. Or maybe if they see blood, it could give them the scaredy cat perk or something like that, or the depressed perk or whatever. Or if they see their best friend dead, they get that perk or something like that. And that's about it. So this was a lot longer than I wanted it to be because I can't help myself. Let's see how long it actually was. Oh my goodness, guys, this was 51 minutes. Holy crap. So if you actually are here the whole time, thanks. My bad. Oops. Oh well. Well, that's the thing. So by the end of this week, hopefully we'll have a lot of some more quality of life things fixed, and then we're gonna go to external areas, external, like that's the milestones, external areas. I don't know how long that'll take because we're gonna add things like solar panels, and we're gonna add maybe things like airlocks, something like that. So just different external areas, with the whole. Oh, and also the probe dock will have to be outside to be used and that sort of thing. And the entire purpose of this is to prepare for missions, which is another milestone, where you'll have ships and stuff like that, and the colonists can fly away and do missions. I wonder if there's any ships right now. What about ship model? Ship hauler model. Is that in here somewhere? Like a ship, see? Like the ships. Like the hauler, the mining barge, which looks like something that like Marines would be in or something, like a drop ship. And the dark variant, which apparently doesn't have things. This is my fault. I shouldn't just be clicking on these things. I wonder how big it actually is. See, this is why I don't know, man. I get so distracted. It's like that big. It's pretty big. Then people go in there and stuff like that, but this doesn't matter. Okay, but that's what's coming up. Also, I think there's a milestone for making the core attackable, but I don't know. I might put that past missions. I don't know. So I just feel like I feel like the game should be fun before I worry about you being killable. But I guess I don't know. The thing is, the core has other stuff with it, which is why it was purposefully placed before missions, because the core has things like, with that goes things like security, guns, turrets, and other sort of defense things like that, which can lead to, which will help lead to things like pirates and stuff like that, which is part of factions, which is the milestone after missions, I think, or maybe that's solar system, then factions, or something like that. But anyway, I'm talking too much. So thanks for watching this, those of you who watched, and, bye.